Hello, I'm a physicist and physics editor, and I have no slides because I'm old-fashioned. And I want to challenge you about what you know about scientific article. So I have two articles here. Then don't worry, you can't see the details. Which one looks more like a scientific article? So this one has no abstract, not a single reference, a crappy figure with no figure caption, and it's written in a very informal style. This one has abstract or the staple headings, a nice figure with a caption, a decent looking reference list. And I bet you'd say this is a scientific article, but you'd be wrong because this is crackpot. And this is a landmark paper by Richard Feynman from 1982, which introduced the field of quantum computation. And ask any quantum physicist in the room, it's a beautiful paper. In fairness, it was the transcript of Feynman's talk, which explains the informal style. This is a crackpot article that I created asking ChatGPT to rewrite Alice in Wonderland as a scientific physics paper. It's beautiful. It even created a LaTeX figure and a BibTeX bibliography. It looks very pretty, yeah? It's complete nonsense. So what am I trying to say? You know how a scientific article should look like, and yet a good scientific article doesn't have to look anywhere like that, yeah? So what we know the staple of being a proper scientific publication with abstract standard sections and bibliography and display items, it's neither necessary nor sufficient for a good scientific paper. And yet it is ubiquitous. Here's another question. This is a 2024 article in Physical Review Letter. This is a 1924 article in Physical Review. What's the difference? Nothing. Well, this is double column, okay? So why hasn't the scientific article changed in the past 100 years? I think you'd agree that science has changed a lot in the past 100 years, and that the way we write science, we produce these articles in online collaborative environments over the internet, has changed. And yet the article itself hasn't. And my question, let me restate my question. So basically, why does the scientific article look the way it does? And why hasn't it changed for the past 100 years? And basically the answer to it is very simple. Because it was already optimal in what it did, and that's efficient information retrieval. So by the end of the 19th century, you couldn't keep up with the literature in your own field. There was so much increased level of volume of publications and specialization that scientists could no longer read an article from beginning to the end. And I challenge you to tell me when you've last read an article from beginning to the end. So instead, people were just browsing and looking for the things that they were interested in. So for example, what are the parameters they used? Did they cite my paper in the reference list? So the modern scientific article is basically efficient information retrieval. It's a master finding system where you can navigate among the components and find exactly what you need very fast. So it doesn't matter the medium, whether it's online or in print, what kind of science it reports, it's not meant to be read. It's meant to be browsed. So this format evolved from a need, but there were two factors that basically made it into the gold standard. Editorial policies meant to have a uniform, coherent style, and peer review, which reinforced them. And there were two unintended consequences of this. One, the scientific paper became very restrictive, killing all creativity or alternative styles. So Feynman's article today would likely be rejected. And the second, the way we recognize the scientific articles is the way paper mills create fake papers that pollute the literature. And I don't have too much time, but what I wanted to say is something that is changing the way we access information, and that is through AI. So we're no longer even browsing the paper by asking an LLM to tell us whether we were cited in the reference list. And will that mean the end of the scientific article format as it is today? I don't think so, but it's also an opportunity for us to think of new scientific narratives, new formats and styles. And if you want to talk about that, come to me later. And if you want to read the Alice in Wonderland paper.